Nights in Istanbul are long. When the streetlights flicker on somewhere in the city, someone is getting rich, and somewhere else someone is losing their life. And in this city there are names people only whisper. Daltons is one of them. Once the name belonged to the outlaw brothers from Western movies, but in Turkey it took on a completely different meaning. This wasn't the dusty Wild West anymore. This was Istanbul, a city ruled by concrete, weapons, money, and betrayal. Chapter 1. Born from the Shadows. The name Dalton's Gang first appeared in public a few years ago during large-scale organized crime operations based in Istanbul. But the roots of this group went much deeper. Their early connections led straight to one of Turkey's most notorious criminal organizations, the Barış Boyun Network. According to investigation files, the men who would later be known as the Daltons once operated within Boyun's organization. Among them was Beratcan Gökdemir, a rising figure who began gaining power and influence. His name started to appear in both domestic and international investigations. At first, he worked alongside Boyun's men, reportedly taking part in armed attacks and other violent operations. But over time, things began to change. As with all criminal organizations, power, money, and ego became a source of tension. That tension sparked conflict, and from that conflict, a new name was born. The Daltons became their own signature, their own brand of fear. Chapter 2. Breaking away. Prosecutors say Beratcan Gökdemir and his close circle eventually split from Barış Boyun's group. The reason? Internal power struggles and disputes over the division of money and territory. Gökdemir gathered his own men and built his own structure. That new organization was called the Daltons. Under Gökdemir, the group quickly became active across Istanbul's European side and other Turkish cities. Their internal hierarchy was clear. One big brother on top, chiefs below him, and under them the armed crews. Loyalty was built on fear and silence. During this period, the Daltons became known for extortion, armed assault, kidnapping, and robbery. Police reports say they often threatened local businessmen, forcing them to pay or face violent consequences. But there was one thing that made them different: social media. Unlike the old-school mobsters, the Daltons embraced the online world, building a digital image of power. Luxury cars, cash, gold, and guns, all flaunted in videos and photos. A criminal gang was no longer confined to the streets. They were now online celebrities of the underworld. And that online presence started shaping youth culture. Many young people began talking about the Daltons like they were a brand, a symbol of power and rebellion. But behind that flashy image were blood, fear, and betrayal. Chapter 3. War in the Streets. Every time one gang rises, it steps into another's territory. And that never ends quietly. The tension between the Daltons and the Barış Boyun organization quickly escalated into open warfare. According to judicial sources, the dispute led to multiple shootings and targeted attacks. Some members were killed, others fled abroad. Within the Daltons, loyalty became a matter of survival. New recruits had to swear complete allegiance to the leader. By now, the Daltons were active not only in Istanbul, but also in Izmir, Kocaeli, and Tekirdağ. Police files revealed that they were also importing weapons through European contacts. But as their power grew, so did their trail. And eventually, that trail caught the attention of Turkish intelligence. Chapter 4. The Operation. Starting in 2023, Turkish police and the National Intelligence Organization, MIT, launched several operations targeting the Daltons. Investigators followed their phone calls, money transfers, and international links. Evidence showed that the gang's income came from illegal betting, extortion, drug trafficking, and money laundering. At the center of it all was Beratcan Gökdemir. But by then he had already left Turkey. A red notice was issued for his arrest. He was later captured in Italy. Yet, even after his arrest, the organization didn't collapse. A new figure emerged, Ahmet Mustafa Timo, also known as Timo Khan. Known for his aggression and influence, Timo took control of the Daltons and rebuilt the structure. According to police files, he was wanted for 31 separate crimes. Under his command, the Daltons came back stronger and more violent than ever. Chapter 5. The Fall. By late 2024, a coordinated international operation was launched. Turkey, Italy, and several European countries joined forces to identify the gang's overseas leaders. With MIT's involvement, several top members were arrested. According to the Ministry of Interior, the raids led to the capture of multiple high-ranking figures, along with a large number of firearms, luxury vehicles, digital devices, and cash. At the same time, police conducted another series of raids in Istanbul, targeting the gang's local network. The results were massive. 105 suspects were charged, 69 of them were detained pending trial. Prosecutors demanded heavy sentences for crimes including forming a criminal organization, murder, armed assault, extortion, and drug trafficking. The indictment named Beratcan Gökdemir and Ahmet Mustafa Timo as the leaders. Among the evidence were encrypted messages, money transfer records, surveillance footage, and witness testimony. With that, the Dalton gang was officially declared dismantled. But the files remain open. Investigators believe that not all of their foreign connections have been severed. Chapter 6. What Remains. Once, the name Daltons brought fear to the streets of Istanbul. Now it sits quietly in a cold case file, just another number in a courthouse drawer. But the story doesn't really end there, because every criminal empire leaves a shadow. The guns may go silent, but the echoes of violence stay behind. And in the minds of some young people, that image of power still lingers. The truth, though, is simple. Every gang that thinks it's untouchable eventually meets the same fate: collapse. After months of coordinated operations, surveillance, and legal pursuit, Turkish authorities finally took down the Dalton leadership. But this case is only one chapter in the ongoing war against organized crime. In a city like Istanbul, the shadows never truly disappear. One day, the Daltons fall. The next day, a new name rises, and the same story begins again. Closing. In this city, power is measured by silence. But some silences are more dangerous than storms. The story of the Dalton gang reminds us of one timeless truth. The shadow of crime grows fast, but the light of justice always finds it in the end. They were once a name that echoed through the streets of Istanbul. Now, they are just a case file, and all that remains is silence.